right, well, welcome back to Keeping Up with Jones Hour. It's springtime, so you know what that means.
Springing into action.
No, Buc-ee's is coming to town.
Oh, that's what it
That's
means.
exactly what happens when spring happens. Get your beef jerky and
Fudge,
fudge, and
brisket.
lots of Beaver branded. It is a Beaver, right?
It's a beaver.
Yeah, Beaver branded
Camo.
apparel,
So many camo things.
bathing suits, chairs.
Coolers. They've got this really big grill that there's no way anybody's ever purchased.
Really? What would you do with the?
It's like a round, like fire pit looking grill.
Oh,
Like if you were a caveman
I feel like
and
Brandon.
you killed Brandon would for sure. Y'all
He
met
would-
Brandon, our asset manager.
He likes to cook dead things.
He smokes lots of meats.
So anyway, we do have an agenda here, but the Buc-ee's got announced. I'm super pumped. So I can drive.
You
to
can drive
exit
35
28
miles to fill
and
up.
get my gasoline and some beef jerky.
Yeah, and then drive back.
Mm-hmm.
Some people know Alan. Some people don't. Alan said he's going every other day.
Yep, big Buc-ee's fan.
Big Buc-ee's fan.
Big
So-
Buc-ee's fan. So no, spring.
Yeah.
It's our conference time.
Lots of conference season.
Yeah.
Lots of travel.
So obviously we have ICSC Las Vegas coming up. For those of you that don't know, it changed. What's the name of it now? It's the
Recon?
International- Oh, Recon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what ICSC stands for. Was International Council of Shopping Centers, but then that wasn't sophisticated enough, so then they changed it to
Anyway, largest retail real estate gathering in the world.
anybody who's anybody and everybody is a member of ICSC. Retailers, landlords, developers, bankers, property managers, everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody convenes in Las Vegas for 4 days of just speed dating,
Basically.
back-to-back meetings for
Entertaining
8 hours a day.
but more importantly, we just got back from some conferences that I thought would be a jumping place for us to talk about X Team.
Yeah, that's a great idea. X Team is. Have we talked about X Team on this platform?
Maybe when we first when we joined the platform, but we really didn't go into depth about it. And it's an amazing platform.
Yeah.
It's designed for boutique brokerages like us to be able to collaborate and refer and just share information nationally.
And compete
and
for certain
compete.
things nationally.
Yeah. We've got offices in almost every major city that are on the X Team platform. I think.
45 cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did our national convention where was that at again?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, yeah.
Very cool city. If you haven't been to Charlotte, we stayed downtown and it was very cool. Great restaurants, really clean,
Mm-hmm.
tons of development. That's a sidebar, but
I thought it
put it on your.
Yeah. We could talk about that later. But I did
Yeah.
find Charlotte very interesting because they defined it as a newer city. Like there's not a ton of history there, but it's just growing like wildfire. But
Yeah, like every building there was like brand new.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah,
Anyway, so X Team, all the offices came together. We talked about active retailers, active landlords, new developments, systems, just lots of good stuff.
Yeah, well, and it helps, because you've got a lot of ultimately at our firm, like the decision makers and the people deciding like what software we're using, what direction we're going with different things is us. And they were pretty incredible. Like it's nice to have other people that are doing the same thing to be able to figure out what they're doing and best practices. Because we're competing against national brokers that have somebody dedicated to just figuring out what subscriptions we're going to have for technology and what databases we're going to use for tracking deals and tenants and all that stuff. And this just gives us a competitive advantage because we've got a lot more people like us.
Right. And the additional power behind that, we deal with a lot of local and regional retailers that, either starting up or have 2 or 3 stores.
Yeah.
And some of them get to that critical point where they're like, hey, I want to go to another market.
Right.
And we have that ability to share, that information with an X Team broker who has a relationship with us and understands, what that client could need and want in their market.
For sure.
I think it's a very powerful tool to be able to recreate that within our platform.
Yeah, it's a super seamless transition or growth pattern.
Yeah.
Because then we stay involved and we have like-minded teammates, for lack of better words. So it's very cool. It's just crazy to think. Mallory counted up apparently my calendar, which Mallory's in our office. Some of you may know her. We're not really sure what she does, but she's there. But she did count through my calendar, and I was in 16 cities.
Since the first of the year, probably.
Since the first of the year.
Yeah, that's insane.
With conferences and meeting with clients and doing market tours and kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, we went to, God, I don't even remember them all. L.A. and
Denver,
Dallas,
Charlotte,
Tampa. Takes a lot to bring people to Memphis.
Yeah, but it's cool because it's like more and more we're going to these markets and we're talking to retailers and we're talking to landlords, and like Memphis is on their radar.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Whereas like when we started, Memphis was on no one's radar. It was for like not the best reasons. They're like, we aren't going to invest there. We're not growing there. But now it's on everybody's radar. It's in everybody's growth trajectory. It's in, we're a proven market now that people know that. I mean, there was an article that I saw today, literally had Memphis as the number 2 place to invest in real estate in the country.
I saw that. That's interesting. I wonder where they got that information, how they compiled that.
We don't ask questions when we're number 2. We just agree.
We just take it.
And then we share it on our Instagram.
We've been number 1 and number 2 in other polls that we don't talk about too. So
we ignore those polls.
Yeah. I think finishing up on X Team, one of the best partnerships that we've gotten out of that has been the investment sales platforms that are out there. We've partnered with Palomar out of Augusta, which is typically known for a little golf tournament, but these guys are great at what they do, and we've I don't know, 3 transactions so far in the Memphis area.
We're on our 3rd right now, or 4th right now, with Centennial Place coming to market.
That's right.
Yesterday.
That's right.
So Centennial Place, for those of y'all that don't know, is Burlington Club 4 Fitness and a couple other tenants that are really on Winchester. Great development. So.
Yep. And then Ferris Lee on the West Coast, they've got some new stuff that they're putting to market to West Tennessee that we're working with on.
In Covington.
Yeah, I think it's just great to be able to have that national reach and be able to do investment sales at that level too.
For sure. Yeah, it's a good balance because like we know our market better than anybody. We know how to make these properties cash flow better than anybody. We know the tenants that are active in our market. We know the local investors, but we don't know every national investor that maybe missed a deal in Greenville, South Carolina, who likes those demographics. So then Palomar's able to say, well, hey, we have similar demographics over here and a similar type center in Memphis. Sorry you missed out on that one. Here's opportunity number 2.
Yep.
And they come to us and say, why Memphis? Who can you backfill this with if something happens? How do we push the rents? What's the market like? So really good balance. One of the cool things is, now we're the master brokers for Rotolos. And so that's been a huge part of the travel too.
Yeah.
It's cool because they're a Baton Rouge-based brand, and then the Bobos franchised them and moved them here, or opened them here, and now they're the 2 best performing Rotolos in the entire country.
Thanks
in
to
East
Jonathan
Memphis
Aller.
and Collierville.
Site selection.
100% because of my site selection.
Yep.
So, but now we represent them everywhere.
Yeah. Which can be exhausting.
So far exhausting, but gosh, it's so cool.
Which is why the X-Team platform, I think, is powerful because as a master broker, you can lean on those guys.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Well, and it's interesting because like in the course of all this, it's like providing a ton of street cred for our city because like that is creating, kind of forcing this conversation with all these other markets, right? It's like, why is Jones Hour representing retailers out of Baton Rouge? Well, because the 2 best stores that they have are in their market. They're the ones that figured that out. And then so, you don't just accidentally have really strong stores in a market. You have that because the markets are strong.
Yep.
And so it's just one more layer of validity. Is that a word? That's a word.
I like it.
Validity.
It might not be a word, but let's go with it.
Yeah. Okay. Mal, since you're not doing anything, can you check on the word validity? Another layer of validity. So, I mean, it's just, anyway, it's cool. But, they're expanding to Dallas. They're expanding to Nashville, which, whatever, Nashville sucks. But, challenge accepted to just keep building up Memphis and making these stores even better. So,
What else? Should we talk more about Vegas?
Yeah, I mean Vegas in itself could be a whole episode,
Yeah.
but let's not make it a whole episode. So I mean Vegas is nuts. It's 40,000 ish people that literally just flood into the Las Vegas Convention Center, and there's just a bunch of crazy ass deal makers.
And we
And,
joke, it really is like speed dating.
I mean people are
mean-
sprinting. You're walking 14 miles a day,
Oh, easy.
easy.
Yeah. For those of you that have never been to the Las Vegas Convention Center, it's a mile from tip to tip between all three halls. So it takes a lot of organization, a lot of planning, but it's so important to be there because we get to sell our city.
Right.
We get to meet, the hot and sexy new retailers and some of the old and tired ones too.
We don't discriminate.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so powerful to be able to meet and collaborate and connect. And we'll be at the X Team booth there with the rest of our folks from that platform.
Yeah. But it's really what's really fun about that is you do have like a TJX and a Burlington and a Five Below who are like super crucial to a lot of markets and power center developers and all the things. But then you have like the cool like a Hawkers or a Bar Taco and like that's where they go to like Rotolos, like that's where they go to like start their huge growth as they expand across the country.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's really fun to like be with these founders that are excited about their brand growing across the country. And then we get to talk to them and tell them why their brand should be in Memphis.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's super cool.
Well, even representing folks like your Bertolo's relationship, having them in the booth at the X Team and they're like, hey, we're really thinking about, we already talked about Charlotte, but Atlanta, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I know the Atlanta person right here. And then they
Yeah.
get excited because they get to talk at that moment specifically about opportunities that they could do in Atlanta,
For sure.
right? So anyway, super powerful. I'm excited about it. Be a lot of work, but man, it'll be some fun too. There's a lot of client parties and dinners and that type of stuff. And I don't drink or gamble, so I won't be doing any of that.
Same. So we're in bed by 8
Yep.
after we go to the buffet for dinner. Yep. That's it.
What
Yeah,
else?
yeah, we'll take a whole team. It'll be fun because we'll have our whole retail office and a huge presence from Little Rock too.
Yep.
So, which is very cool. So that's another thing with X Team and the platform. We actually the Jones Hour brand is actually and has 2 different markets for the X Team platform, which is awesome. There's only a few offices in the country that have that. So, yeah, soft little flex.
Okay. Yeah, that I think with all the success that you've had with Rotolos, we've got a handful of clients that as they grow or anybody else in Memphis in general, when they get ready to make that leap, we're here
Yeah.
and able to help them and guide them
Right.
to do that.
For sure.
We got to wrap this up. I've got to head out to Buc-ee's
Oh,
to get some gas and some beef jerky.
an hour round trip. Just
So anyway, exciting news again that
super exciting.
we're getting Buc-ee's. But until next time.
See you, Bucky.